Morning car lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. Today, my friends, as we can see, we're going to be looking at the VW Tiguan. And as many of you know, my regular viewers know, the VWs are one of my favourite brands of car. They're not going to set your world alight. They're not going to be hugely flamboyant and show-offy. However, what they are going to be is absolutely stable, solid as a rock, and never ever going to let you down. And the Tiguan is actually the best selling VW car to date, which is often the case with the smaller SUVs in many of the car range as well. So I am very, very much looking forward to reviewing it for you, my friends, today. I wish I'd brought my sunglasses. So then let's have a look around it, shall we? And as you can see, this one is the R line, as you can see from the title R there. It's a 1.5 TSI R line. And if you're gonna go for the Tiguan, I would always suggest the R line because it runs the risk of looking a little bit, look at that noisy bastard. Will you shut up ruining my video? It just kind of runs the risk of looking a little bit dull, but I think the R-Line styling, as you can see from this lovely bumper, the lovely grille there, and the lovely diamond cut alloys, it just makes it look absolutely brilliant, and it kind of sets it apart and makes it a very, turns something from what could be an unboring car into a super stylish looking car. So as you can see, pretty mean from the front. Nice front grille, it's got the LED headlights now, obviously this is the R-Line, nice sort of chrome trim on the edges here. As we go around like this, and the side, I think the profile view of the Tiguan is particularly nice, very sharp kind of styling cues. You got this, I don't know, this line that runs kind of along here. It just sort of really pleases me. Volkswagen seem to do it in most of their models these days. I don't know what it is, it just kind of works and it makes me very happy. And as I said, diamond cut alloys on here, slightly bigger ones on here, slightly smaller ones on the lower down, if you go lower down the range, but I think those are kind of a nice size without going too kind of drug dealery. So let's have a look in Das Boot, shall we, as they say in Germany, and you have 520 of your finest litres of space in the back of there. That's a lovely size boot, and it kind of drops off quite nice. I don't know why that's nice, but it drops off there. You've got kind of a lower sort of boot, extra bit of boot space there where it sort of drops down. You have lots of space kind of over there to put something, what could you put in there? I don't know, a gallon bottle of cider perhaps, or that's probably not a responsible thing to say on a motoring show. Or any other kind of liquid you chose to put a store in there. Over there we've got a nice little sort of boxy type thing in which you can put some engine oil and a little net thing there. And yeah, generally speaking, this is a boot. And if you want to fold the seats down, there's a nice little thing here which you give a good old tug on like that, and that seat will drop forward. You don't go all the way annoyingly, you have to come around here and you have to give it a little bit of a helping hand, but it will drop completely flat like that to give you a load more extra boot space. And obviously the other one does it as well. I could demonstrate that for you, but I imagine you can probably envisage what it looks like. I'll sod it, I'll do it. There we go, give that a pull, and it's gone down a bit further than the other one. Let's give it a little bit of a tease, shall we? Boom, bingo, a massive load of boot space. Done. So let's have a look inside, and as you'd expect, it is good, chunky, really high quality German feel to the whole thing. Everything feels really nice and kind of well engineered. The steering wheel's particularly nice. It's got the sports steering wheel, you've got the nice sort of bits there. It's also got these kind of, you can't really tell, but there's a kind of a bit that goes out and then in there. And on VWs, I always think it's a real nice touch. I don't know why. It's just a tiny little thing which I think makes the steering wheel look really kind of cool. You've also got this here, the digital dash here, digital cockpit, which is standard in the R-Line models, which I think is really awesome. It's really kind of, as I've said before, I had it in the Polo that I reviewed the other week, and it just looks really, really cool. And it's usually the remit of really high-end vehicles, so it's nice that that's trickled down to VW now. You've got this beautiful big display here with a couple of knobs on there. As we say, it's always nice to keep a couple of knobs in the car. Make your own jokes, please. Now this one even has the touch-sensitive climate control down here, which is really, really nice. I alluded to this when I was reviewing the Polo the other week. The Polo had the classic turny things, which is a technical term, by the way. But as you can see, this is simply a case of touching it, and there's no buttons involved, which usually I don't like, because I don't like it when you've got a plain, particularly a plain glass screen like this. I like to be able to, when I'm driving, reach over and feel what I'm doing without taking my eyes off the road. However, you've kind of got the best of both worlds here, because I don't know if you can see it, there's actually kind of an edge here, so you could actually put your finger down there and feel, see, it doesn't go any further, and over there you can actually feel where they are. So it's actually touch sensitive, but you've still got that ability to feel down when you're driving, so you don't crash into a hedge, which is, I think, always a good thing. So moving our way down, you got a beautiful crevice here in which you can keep all manner of things. You got a nice little 12-volt charge there. You got some annoying USB-Cs there, which you can get adapters for. As I say, these, I always go on about this. No one uses USB-C. Well, I don't anyway, so I assume everyone else doesn't. However, these ones are doubly annoying because they are quite a long way under there, so it's kind of tricky to get to. But I suppose once it's plugged in, you got a wire poking out anyway, so it wouldn't matter that much. Cup holders, everyone loves a cup holder, and this little little fella has two of them, one there and one kind of just here, which got a little flappy openy thing there, which is very nice. It also closes like that. If you're offended by the side of a cup holder, you can close it up and you won't have to see it. And of course we have the obligatory armrest. No smaller SUV would be complete without one of these. And of course, as we open it up, lovely cranking noise, we have a storage area in there. Not too bad, bigger than the Polos. The Polo would only get one fist in it. I reckon that'll get 1, 2, 3, probably about 3.5 fists in there, should you have any fists around the area that you're looking to stow away. Now the seats, as you can see, these are the R-line seats. So you got the lovely looking R there, and then which is embossed on a beautiful bit of Alcantara. And I do like a bit of Alcantara. It's suede, but it means no animal had to lay down their life so I could be comfy in my seat, which is, you know, it's a win-win for everyone, especially the animal. And a kind of a sort of a normal kind of cloth area here, which is, but I like to think it's kind of not just normal cloth. It feels like high quality cloth to me. If you're going to have cloth seats, you might as well have them, you know, I think a lot of manufacturers these days are kind of, you know, when they do cloth, it's a lot better than the cloth of yesteryear, to use a medieval phrase. And for all you glove box enthusiasts out there, here is the glove box, and believe me, you could fit a shit ton of gloves in there. Massive, great big deep space. The obviously the handbooks are in there, but that's beautiful, great big bit of space there. Excellent glove box. There you go. Hope you're happy. Also worth mentioning, now I don't think you're going to be able to see this in the video. You can just about see that bluish hue under there. At night time, that will create a beautiful blue ambient light, if indeed I can say the word blue. Now, ambient lights are kind of irrelevant, kind of pointless, but I do enjoy them, and it does make me feel very ambient. Ambiotic. Ambiotic? That's definitely not the right word. In fact, that's disgusting. Also, absolutely bags of room in the side door cubby holes here, and also kind of carpeted, which is very, very luxurious. I like that very much. And I've had to come out the car to show you this one. If you want a bit more extra cubby space, have a look at this little fellow. A secret drawer under the seat in which you could secrete all manner of illicit material, or obviously stuff that's not illicit. So then, you join me in the back of the car now, and as we know, the back of these cars are going to be frequented a hell of a lot, because this is going to be a family car. So, you know, kids are always like right in the back because they've got small legs. However, what is a strapping 6-footer like me going to be like in the back of here? Well, I can tell you, my friends, look at the acres and acres of leg room. It's like sitting in first class in British Airways. That is absolutely awesome. I love that. I like that very much. Also, this is a very nice option. If I were thinking to myself, I've got too much leg room and I wanted to reduce it, just give it a squeeze down here and I can move this seat forward. It's actually a sliding seat in the back. Can you imagine such a thing? Imagine how your life would be enriched by the slidiness of this seat in the back. Now, I've got hardly any leg room. Why that would, you know, why I would want that, that's another question, but you know, it's nice to have the option. Now, I am being slightly frivolous there because obviously that would be to make more room in the already ample boot. You're able to squeeze a little bit more in like that, and I think that's an excellent feature. And in terms of headroom, I've got what's known in the industry as a shit ton of head space there. There we go. What's that, about 4 inches there? Ain't no way I am smashing my head on this roof and ruining my perfectly sculpted hairstyle, or indeed rubbing any more off so I go bolder than I already am. But generally speaking, it's a very, very light, airy and roomy place to be. If I give you a bit of a panoramic there, it's just lovely. If you were going to spend a long time in the back of a car on a long journey, this, my friends, is going to, there is a lot worse places that you could be, believe me. I've been there. And down in the middle of the central console, we have a lovely couple of air vents there. We have a, again, this is the, if the engine ignition was turned on, this is the touch screen, not touch screen, what do you call it? The touch sensitive climate control, as the same as it was in the front. It's got those lovely kind of edges, which I enjoyed in the front, although they're not really any point in the back because I wouldn't, I'm able to use my eyes and take them off the road. Also an annoying USB-C down there, and a lovely old-fashioned 12-volt connector there as well. What more could you possibly want in the back of a small VW? Or small SUV VW. Good Lord, that's a lot of V's and W's. So this one I'm driving today is the 1.5 litre TSI. It's 150 horsepower, and to be honest, it's probably the engine that a lot of people, and most people, are going to go for, I would have thought, with this kind of car. I wouldn't have thought many people would go for the bigger engine, for the 2 litre. No, by the same token, I wouldn't recommend you go for the smaller one because it's going to have, you know, virtually no poke at all. And we all know there's nothing worse than a car with no poke. As you can see, I'm currently utilising that poke, just cruising along the banks of the River Thames in southwest London, around the town if you like. And I think many a Tiguan are going to be doing a similar journey kind of around towns, because this is going to be a family car. It's probably going to be used a lot for school runs. And what's it like? It's, to be honest, it's perfect. It gives you kind of, it's not, you know, super huge SUV size, so you're not going to struggle to get it through the small gaps. You're going to be able to thread that needle very well. But at the same time, it gives you kind of a nice sort of elevation. You feel kind of quite high up and able to sort of see danger coming before it actually gets to you, should you, you know, be driving any places where you know, danger is common. However, as I said, we're in southwest London today, so I don't think danger is going to be a problem, but it's handling these nice sort of fairly sort of congested roads very well. I'm not having any problems here at all. In fact, you know, luckily we're past the rush hour now, but there's still quite narrow streets around here, and I don't think I'm ever going to have a problem, you know, just sort of squeezing in and out the traffic. It's kind of suited for this, perfectly suited for this this kind of environment. And of course, as you'd expect, it's got that everlasting VW quality, just as every single VW has. You can kind of, I reckon, as I said with the Polo, I reckon you could get in a VW, close your eyes and drive it around if someone could stop you going in the ditch, and you'd know it was a VW. It's just, they ooze kind of experience and quality, as all the German car makers do. You can tell when you get into a German car, there's nothing quite like it, and they've threaded that into the Tiguan very nicely. It essentially feels like you're driving a slightly sort of blown up and sort of elevated Golf, like a Golf on stilts, if you like. And let's face it, you know, who wouldn't want a Golf on stilts? And the ride's that kind of reassuring combination of firm and smoothness. It's got the slightly bigger alloys on this one, as I say, but to be honest, you know, sometimes when you get really big alloys on a car, you can fit a few more bumps. I'm never really a big kind of, it's never really a big problem for me, to be honest, but this is kind of a nice happy balance, I would say. You can kind of feel the roads you go along, but it's comfy enough to be, wow, comfy. And the sense of space in here is absolutely amazing. It just feels like there's acres over there towards the windscreen and even further over there towards the passenger side. I don't recommend you do this whilst driving along, of course, obviously, but I'm stationary, so you know, I'll do what I want. But I think that's really important for a car like this. As I say, it's almost certainly going to be packed with, you know, at least a couple of adults and probably 3 children in the back, and you don't want to feel all crammed in like a load of sardines in that situation. So it's nice to have that sense of airiness about it. So in terms of go and power, look, it's a 1.5 TSI, so it's not going to be a rocket ship, but to be honest, you don't really want it to be. You don't want your children vomiting over your shoulder while you're driving to school, do you? So I think it's kind of nicely powered, as I say, for the kind of car it is. It will give you, it's got a little bit of grunt, enough to kind of give you that spurt if you wanted to overtake something, give you a bit of blast on the motorway when it suddenly opens up at the national speed limit. But generally speaking, I reckon it's kind of the right engine to go for. If you want to go for something faster, then cool, you know, you can go for the bigger 2-litre engine. But to be honest, it's the chances are you're very rarely going to utilize that power. And as I say, do you really want to be terrifying your kids driving around like a maniac? Maybe you do, I don't know. I'm not going to presume to know you, but I would suggest that you don't. So we're in a bit of traffic here, so it seems like a good time to talk about price. They start around £30,000 for the base model. It goes up to about, this one, if you want the R line, this little fellow is going to cost you around about £35,000. So, you know, it's a bit more for quite a bit extra, I think. The car's generally just going to look a lot nicer on the outside and feel a lot nicer on the inside with the sports seats and the nice steering wheel and everything, and the things like the touch screen climate control, and of course the digital cockpit. I think these things make a big difference. I think that demonstrates pretty good value for money. So I would recommend the R line every time. And to be honest, that goes for every Volkswagen model. So then, what's the verdict, guys? Well, the first verdict was I definitely should have brought my sunglasses today. Second verdict is it's a Volkswagen, okay, so it did exactly what I expected it to do. It's a solid, reliable, stylish hunk of car that's never going to let you down. It's loads of space, it feels beautiful to drive, and it's going to be an amazing family car. So I reckon if you are in the market for something, an SUV, but it's not, you know, sort of super huge to the Touareg level, you do want something a little bit smaller that's still going to give you all that space and the quality of a VW, my friends, you could do a lot worse than going for the VW Tiguan. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I hope you found it useful, informative, and many other things. If indeed you have, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the like button on the video, and if you want to support the show, head over to the Patreon page, or indeed click the join button below this video. But until next time, guys, I'm Bobby Freeman. Drive safe.